the farms especially in Johor region, they are farmed for Singaporeans. So whether the supply in Malaysia enough or not enough, it doesn't affect. I mean, not affected by these farms. So I think there was a bit of misunderstanding there. So Majlis Kecamatan Malaysia, they has urged us, the industry players, to come up with a solution to solve this problem. So even our previous plantation minister, Zuraida, sorry, not this, the current one, they has urged the chicken players to use industry byproducts as an alternative source of feed ingredients. So, according to this United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, the definition of food security is when all people at all times have physical and social and economic access to sufficient, safe and nutritious food, which meets their dietary needs. So, over the years, every day there was about 700 million people facing hunger. So, are you one of them? I don't think any Malaysian is not have the problem, right? So, what do you mean by nutritious food? According to FAO, we have to follow the food pyramid. Okay, every level of the pyramid, you need to have this balanced ratio of the diet. So today I will not talk about all the level. I will only talk about the second level, which is the protein side, primarily from the animal protein. So let's dive into what's the livestock's role. Actually, by the way, livestock means farm animals. What is the role in food security? Number one, it contributes to the major part of this the protein source for human, okay? Especially the essential amino acid. Well, talking about protein, it's not as simple as you may sound, because crude protein is actually the bigger umbrella, bigger definition of this thing. And underneath it, you have essential and non-essential amino acids. So essential amino acids can only be found in animal protein. Okay, if you talk about soya milk, it's not so much on that. And in many developing countries, the increasing incomes, changing diets, and population growth have led to this increased demand in livestock. Because when people have money, extra money, they tend to spend more on food, especially you buy a chicken or beef or something. Okay, I remember back then when my parents told me back then, many decades ago when they were younger, having a chicken in a meal is a luxury thing. Is that true? I don't know. Maybe I can ask the senior folks here. So yeah. So but today I think eating chicken is like a common thing. It's like every day you have it everywhere. So in order to ensure this production of livestock in Malaysia to be more sustainable, we have to fully utilize these local agricultural byproducts. Why we choose palm? Because palm oil industry is the biggest in Malaysia, and it's a waste if we don't utilize it. Okay, I have some short quiz. Maybe I want to ask you guys. Do you know that an average Malaysian consumes how many kg of chicken a year? Any wild guess? Anyone know? You want to shoot 5 kg, 10 kg? Okay, 100, 30, close. Anyone have any idea? Okay, correct. 50 is the answer. Right. How about eggs? How many eggs you eat a year? Remember, eggs, it's not only that eggs you eat in the kopitiam, the pastries, the cakes, everything you have eggs inside. Close, thank you. Actually, it's about 300 plus. Okay. May I ask you, do you know how many kg of chicken Indonesian consume? Any Indonesians here? Sorry, by the way. Okay, no idea. Huh? Actually, Indonesia per capita they only consume 7 kg of chicken meat. And how about eggs? It's only 100 plus eggs per capita in Indonesia. So we consume quite a lot of chicken and eggs. Yeah, I believe some of us consume more than 50 kg, including me. Because protein source. It's the cheapest protein source in Malaysia. Because it's quite a different scenario in Indonesia. They consume this tempeh. Tempeh is the cheapest source of protein in their country. It's tempeh made of soya, so it's a different call it culture and so on. So because we produce so much chickens and other form of animals, in Malaysia since 2011, maize imports is about 3 million tons annually. Maize is actually the jagung corn. In our industry, we call it maize. Maize is the right term to use. Corn is the sweet corn we have in the Cameron Highland and those. That one's different. And soybean meal is about 1 million tons annually. So soybean meal is the byproduct of the oil extraction of soya. We cannot animals do not consume soya because of the toxicity. You need to process it under a certain heat temperature. Only you can consume the meal. Okay, so that one is called soybean meal. And these two commodities are mainly imported from Argentina and Brazil, and some from the US. And approximately 7 to 10 billion ringgit worth of imports of this main commodity annually. So government is quite worried about this because it makes this no economic sense. Okay, so congratulations guys. We made in the top 3, we consume the most poultry meat in the world. After Israel and US. So I can give yourself a clap. Okay. So, right. Okay, now many people ask me, why is it animal feed a hot topic nowadays? Let me tell you why. Because animal feed, they constitute about 70% of the production cost. So, example for a chicken, which costs 10 ringgit, 7 ringgit comes from the feed, and the remaining comes from the management and also the profit company. That's why when the chicken price soar up, government is so concerned, and people are, the riot be saying, why increase, why? But because of the mainly it's because of the increase in the feed cost. The rise in animal protein price, example the Nai-Haga chicken, lembu, is because of the imported raw materials I mentioned just now, the maize and soybean meal. Why these two commodities increase price? Because mainly because of this global supply chain disruption, and also the post-pandemic COVID-19, and also this Russian-Ukraine war. Back then, before MCO, a ton of maize cost about 800-900 ringgit. Now you know how much? It's 1,003. Yeah, back then for soybean meal, it was around 1,006, 1,007. Now it's 2,004. So the industry players for the poultry and swine and the cattle, they have no choice but to increase the price. In fact, most producers nowadays for meat, chicken, and eggs, they are making a loss. They not even break even. But how can they sustain until now? Is because the government gives subsidy. But many of them cannot get the subsidy until today, since last year. So that's an issue that we as a poultry industry player, we want to highlight the government. Okay, well, let's also talk about this self-sufficiency level. What does this mean? That means, do we produce enough meat product for our country? Yes. Chicken meat, yes. In fact, we over surplus because we do export to Singapore and neighboring countries, and also a bit of Brunei. Back then, it used to be more, but a few years ago, Singapore has come up with they tightened their food security. They have reduced the imports of chicken from Malaysia, and also because due to the reason that I think some political issue. So, and because we have uncertainty in the supply chain, so they reduced the reliance on chicken meat from Malaysia. Duck meat, yes, oversupply. We do export to Singapore and the neighboring countries as well. Poultry eggs, we export to Singapore and also Hong Kong, because the poultry products in Malaysia is considered one of the top 3 in Southeast Asia. So we have quite a good reputation in the Southeast Asia. Okay, now you can see these three, fresh milk from the dairy cows, beef, ruminants, and mutton, actually is way below the self-sufficiency level. Why? Because we do import a lot of these products from overseas. If you notice, if you know, actually the ruminants population, the cow and the cattle and the goats, is only 300,000 in Malaysia. In West Malaysia, it's 300,000. In East Malaysia, it's even lesser. It's less than 100,000. So maybe Sarawak can start to explore in this sector. And pork, previously we had good self-sufficiency level, but we have dropped a little bit because of this African swine fever is a disease among the pigs. So yeah. So okay, now let's just get back to the main topic. So what is animal feed? It's actually a food given to the domestic animals, especially livestock, in the course of animal husbandry. So let us have a general view. I will not give into details like the micro and micro minerals and vitamins of each animal species, but I will just give you a general idea. Like for poultry is a general term. Okay, you have ducks, chicken, quailbirds. Quailbird is this burung, yeah, correct. Thank you. Also ostrich, but let's just talk about the main one, chicken, because I believe every Malaysian loves chicken, right? You eat chicken every day. You have just now lunch also, eh? So we have broiler. Broiler is not the palm oil boiler, it doesn't boil things. Broiler is the daging ayam, okay? Ayam for meat one, okay? So this type of animal requires a higher protein level in your feed. And layer is the ayam penelo, give eggs to us. This species animal requires a balance of energy with vitamins and minerals, especially calcium carbonate and phosphorus. Why? Because eggs, you need calcium to form the shell. Okay, so if you do not give enough calcium, they will use up their body, the bone marrow to produce the shell, and then you have a weak bone and it's quite fragile. So you need to supplement them with the calcium. And also breeder. Breeder is the chicken flock which produce the laying sheet to the broiler layer. Anak ayam, producer anak ayam, yeah? Okay, so ruminants is actually can be divided into two categories. One is the dairy, which produce the milk, and one is the beef. So for dairy, you require a lot of energy and minerals, especially on this calcium, because milk has calcium. Beef also, you need to have a balance of protein and energy. But if you notice here, I add on roughages. What is roughages? It's actually the name, category name for grass. Okay, you need grass together with these concentrates in the ruminants diet. It's very different from the poultry and swine sector. So okay, for pigs, you need high energy and low fiber, and for aquaculture, it requires the highest energy among all the livestock species. Okay. So many people not in this industry, they ask me what the chicken, this animal feed made of. So I will just talk about chicken feed, like easier, right? Because everyone loves chickens. Okay. So basically, if you just imagine this a pot of jar. 45 to 55% is made of corn maize. Okay, this is just a general idea. And 20 to 25% is made of soybean meal. Okay, and the rest is made of fibrous stuff, especially the industrial byproducts like wheat bran, rice bran. Rice bran is a byproduct from the rice mill, or PKE from the kernel crushing plant. And also you have the additive percentage, which include the vitamins, micro and macro minerals. Yeah, that one is the feed additive side. And do you guys know, we do include CPO in our animal feed, 2 to 3%. So what's the function of CPO? It generally gives energy to the animal, because CBO is the cheapest source of dense energy that we can find in locally. But we cannot go beyond 3%. Maybe one day some scientists can do that, because too much oil in the animal feed is become not digestible. You need some sort of enzyme to break down and to become more digestible in the animal feed digestion. Okay, so yeah, that's how I mentioned corn. This is the common misconception. The corn that the chicken eat is not the same as the corn you eat. Okay, the corn you eat is the sweet corn, the species, which has high sugar but low starch. The corn that the chicken eat is called maize or field corn or den corn, but generally we call it as maize. It has low sugar but high starch content. Okay, so it's mainly imported from South America and also Pakistan and India. We prefer South America corn because the quality there is better because of the drier climate. So we have low fungus content and therefore low mycotoxins level. Okay, so talking about feed, we have different texture of feed. On the left, you can see some mesh form. Basically, it's like a powdery type of feed. Usually, this will be fed to chicken vanilla layers and pigs. The middle one, crumble, is like broken pellet. It's like a round shape. So this one usually be fed to broiler. Why do they make in such form? It's because chickens love to have a big texture feed, so they can keep on pecking on it and eat. If your feed is too fine, number one, it costs more energy to pack the food. Therefore, the chicken do not want to eat, and you have a lower growth rate. So, and your feed cannot be too fine, because if it's too fine, it will damage the intestinal lining of the animal. Okay, and the final one is the pellet, which be fed to ruminants, like the cows and the goats. Okay, so let's dive into what can we use for this palm oil processing. Okay, this one I don't have to say. We are the second largest producer of palm oil. We have various types of byproducts: PKC, KFAD, stearin, EFB, pomade, and etc. Okay, in fact, oil palm frond, there are some companies are using to feed the cattle. Anti-food brand, compressed fiber, PKE. This one I will tell a bit later. Okay, how do we choose a good byproduct to become animal feed? This is the few criteria which I come up for myself. Number one, it has to be available all year round. Therefore, yes, palm fits this criteria. Number two, it has to be consistent quality. What do I mean by consistent quality? The moisture level and the texture has to be consistent all year round, and there are no impurities inside this product. Low moisture, why low moisture? Because we do not want the fungus to grow on the byproduct. Once the fungus grows on the byproduct, the fungus will produce mycotoxins, which can cause death or maybe illness in the animal. And we do not want too much of impurities, so we want a low ash volume, and do not want sand, we do not want dirt and shell, because all these are undigestible in this animal feed. So I will start off with from the kernel crushing plant stage, because this PKE product, this main byproduct from this plant is really very famous worldwide. Okay, everybody knows is being fed to the animals, because I don't think it has other usage other than maybe biomass. So yeah, we have also the crude palm kernel oil. So PKE, the crude protein level from nutritionist point of view is a quite moderate level. It can only partially substitute soybean meal, and because of the kernel oil content in the PKE, it has good source of fat and energy, and is very suitable for beef and dairy ruminants. But for monogastric animals like the chicken and pigs, it's not so suitable because it's very high in fiber, and it requires pre-treatment, enzymatic treatment and so on, so that it can be only fed to the chickens. So for your information, I think some of you may really know, we export more than 2 million tons of this PKE overseas, which is, I think, is quite a waste because we can utilize this to help on our industry. So the main concern why many poultry players do not want to use this product is because it's too pricey. Last time it used to be 400 ringgit, but now it's gone up to 800 ringgit. So when we do the formulation, it's not so worth it to use PKE in the poultry. Therefore, the local players are not so keen because of the price and cost concern. Well, I think there are many people ask me what is the difference. There's got a lot of misunderstanding. Why there's called PKE, PKC and PKN? What is the difference? So today I will clear out this doubt amount for all of you. According to MPOB definition, PKC palm kernel cake is the broad definition for palm kernel meal and also palm kernel expeller. So what's the main difference of palm kernel meal and palm kernel expeller? Palm kernel meal, you have basically go through two processes. One is the mechanical extraction, and after that, you go through the solvent extraction using hexane. So they extract out the oil so much that the oil content in this byproduct is very low. It's about 1 to 3% only on average. But for PKE, which most plants in Malaysia are using, they are using the mechanical extraction. So the oil content is still a lot higher in this product, which is 7 to 9%. Well, both of this product can be used in this animal feed, no problem. Okay. If you're in oleochemical industry, you should know that palm kernel oil, it can be fractionated into this type of acids like medium chain triglycerides and short chain triglycerides, lauric and butyric acid. Lauric, I think C12. This product is widely used in overseas to combat this bacteria. It's be used as to replace antibiotics in the feed, is in the farm. Because it has antibacterial and antiviral properties. So if you're going for organic farming, this is a product to be used. Okay, now for the palm oil meal stage, we have some products that we can look into, which we use, in fact our company has been using already. Decanter cake, pomade, EFB and mesocarp fiber. So wet decanter cake, the good things about these things is a lot in Malaysia. It has high oil content, so it's a good energy source, and it has very good smell. But the problem is it has very high moisture, and it can go rancid and grow fungus easily. So maybe can you play the video on the left side? Can you play the video? Yeah. So this is
this you might have to wrap up.
Okay, sure. This is a black soldier fly. We use this to eat the wet decanter cake. For dry decanter cake, we use this to be formulated into our chicken animal feed, chicken, pigs, and cattle. The good things is very low oil content, but you have to be very dry. Okay. Because if not dry, you have the consequences later, which I'll show later. So therefore, it needs special formulation, and you need to be treatment to be processed in animal feed, which our company is using about 300 tons every month now. So what happens if it's high moisture? Okay, you can see it grows fungus, and it has also worms inside. So this is we cannot use anymore. We have to dispose it. Okay, you can see some worms. Okay, EFB, same thing. We have a lot in Malaysia, but it has high limit content, so it's undigestible. But we have to do treatment. And palm oil milk effluent is one of the highest protein content among all the byproducts, but because it has impurities, so there's a limitation to use it. So for CPO refineries, okay, just to brief, we have this product called PFAD, which can turn to calcium soap, and palm stearin can turn to this powder fat for animals. Okay, so powder fat and calcium soap, the energy is actually an energy supplement. It's been used in Europe and New Zealand countries for many years as a energy supplement to replace other stuff. It has good this C16, which is the palmitic acid, which has been proven to increase the milk yield and also to make your milk more creamier. So in overseas, they look at this kind of qualities. So last but not least, so what we are doing now is actually in a circular economy. From the palm oil processing, we have used your byproducts to make animal feed, and from there we feed to the animals in animal farming. And from animal farming, you have the chicken dung, the waste, and everything. You'll be converted into as a organic fertilizer, which can be used back to the plantation and crop farming. Which then I will call it this not ESG, but it's ESP, environmental, sustainable, and profitable. Because I think many bosses here want to see the word profit. Okay, okay, thank you. Yeah, challenges. There's not much R&D in Malaysia, high cost required, and I found that not so many mills are interested or want to cooperate with us because this is quite a new thing. Okay, thank you. Okay, anything you can if you look for collaboration or consultation, you can scan the QR code. You can contact me. All right, thank you.